Hey, Steve Noble Moto. Got our 22 Lowrider ST up here on the lift. And what we're going to do today is install a voltage gauge / USB port. It's got the micro C, then conventional USB down there, and it will give me accurate voltage. I'm very aware there is a USB port underneath the tank on these M8 Softails, but it would be cool to have one that was, one, easier to access, and also one that got less road grime to it. Plus, since the stator went out on this thing, I'm now going to be eternally paranoid about whether or not it's charging. So, to have a voltage gauge would be pretty cool. I'm going to put this in the inside of the fairing. That little piece that comes out of the ST, where the stereo would normally go, I'm going to put it in there. The cool thing about doing it in that thing, or adding any accessories whatsoever that thing is, if you screw it up, you can buy another one of those little plastic insert things for like 20 or 30 bucks from Harley. So, you know, it's very low risk. Now, if you don't have an ST, if you've got an S or any other Softail, you could still do this. The challenge is you're just going to have to figure out where to mount this thing. If you've got the Lowrider S, you can probably figure out how to get this behind that little quarter fairing there. Probably on that little flat plate. You'll figure it out. If you have a non-fairinged S or a non-fairing Softail, you'll have to figure out where to mount it, but this is going to still be the same procedure for installing it. So, good luck to you on that. Probably same principles on the baggers and stuff here too. Yeah, so that's what we got. So we're going to pop the fairing off of this thing, and we'll get right into it. This is not plug and play. We're going to tap in some wiring on it, but you can do this. I believe in you. Let's move in for a closer look. You'll have to excuse the mess. I'm in the middle of a stator swap on this thing. So these were like T27 Torx bits. I replaced them with stainless Allens because I thought they looked cool. I sell these little Allen kits on my website, noblemoto.com, KNOBLEMOTO.com. Anyways, you should just be able to loosen up the top two here on each side and then remove the bottom two here. Loosen up this one a few turns. Loosen up this one a few turns. It might actually fit without loosening that up, but I still like to loosen the grip of the thing up. You can grab your fairing, or your windshield, and wiggle it on up out of there. Boop, boop. Boop, boop. Just like that. Now you can actually clean the thing properly. Wouldn't that be a great idea? Put this in a safe location where it won't get scratched. Now from here, we're going to remove the rest of the screws on the fairing, which are on the other side, and these are going to take a conventional Torx bit. Now you can take these ones out. I waited till last just because they hold the fairing on. Hopefully you can see that right there. What I'm going to do, lift it up with our thumb, undo that quick connect from the headlight, wiggle it back and forth, whoop, and we should be able to take the entire fairing right off of there just like that. So in order to remove this panel, it's got all these little push tabs here for quick assembly. It goes on this direction. You're probably going to have to get in here with some needle nose pliers or something and push these tabs in just a wee little bit. And then push the plastic out. It won't take a lot. Then just go all the way around, do the rest of them. Probably a special tool for this. Whoop! Hey, there you go. Sometimes they'll just pop out just like that. There you go. It's out of there. Just like that. And here's what we're going to do. We are going to put this thing. Let's see, where do we have the most amount of clearance? And you have to take in consideration that the front of the fairing's here. So we can either put it in there. Hang on, let me turn this around. You can see it. We can put it in here, but I'm actually going to put it in down here. We have the clearance right about here. We have the clearance. I still want to be able to see it, and I don't want it to get like direct rain right on top of it. So we're going to aim for essentially right there. So I'm going to measure out the back side of this, find a hole saw that fits it, center it up, drill a hole. All right, I got a hole saw here. This is, it's 1.1/8. It's just a wee little bit smaller. I'm probably gonna have to take a Dremel and just open it up just ever so slightly. Like inch and a quarter might even be too big, but I don't have an 1.25" hole saw. So we're gonna go with this one here. We're gonna eyeball it up center as we can. Pray I eyeballed it right. Send it. Woo, look at that. All right. So from there, oh, actually, you can thread it in there. Oh, it's going to have a nice tight seal if I do that. That's pretty cool. So, take your little locking ring off the back here. I got this on Amazon, by the way. If you go to my Amazon store, link in the comments and whatnot, you can go and buy this thing, or just Google them. They're everywhere. I have my other bikes. They work pretty well. Thread this sucker in there. Oh, wait. Okay, so I got a little rib right here. This is one's going to be kind of in the way, so I'm going to take a little Dremel and open that rib up. Make sure wear your eye protection, of course. Whoa, man. Might put a new grinding wheel in there. It's got a little life left in it. All right. Throw it on the floor. Put your Dremel away with the whooped grinding thing on it so you can be mad at yourself next time. Really? So now we can take this and thread it on in there. I think it's going to go in. I'm going to take that Dremel and open it up just a wee little bit. There we go. Hey, look at that. It's like I knew what I was doing. Center it up so it's straight. You can take this little locking nut and thread it on the back. It's going to barely fit, but it will fit. And get on there so it's straight. Make sure your little weather cover will go up over it. Realize you put the weather cover on upside down. There, now it's a little straighter. Now, it's ready. This piece is ready for the install. We'll just do the wiring. Now that it's up and ready for install, make sure the little cover's open there. And you can push it back into place. Make sure it all pushes in there until it pops into place. There we go. Just like that. All right, now that's in there. Now we can do the wiring. Here's the way we're going to do this. Our blue with the red stripe is the turn signal. black is the ground, and the solid blue is our running lights. So we're going to tap our running light into the positive on this. You're positive we're going to do it that way. I know. So we're going to take, not that wire. There it is. Yeah. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take our positive wire here. And for black and red, I'm just using some cable off some old trickle charger. It's slightly over gauged, but you know, whatever, it won't hurt. So we're going to use our blue and our red there and slide those both into our spade connector there. Make sure they're up in there good and tight. Good and tighter than that. There we go. And crimp those together. Now remember, when you use crimp connectors, one good solid crimp. Don't do it multiple times, you'll break the wire. Or it'll be more prone to breaking at least. Yeah. And then if you want to make sure you got on there, hold on to the connector, give each wire a pull. Does it stay in there? Yes, then you're successful. Does it come out? Then you were unsuccessful. One is labeled positive, one is labeled negative. Slide your positive on there. Slide your negative on there. I'll be able to zip tie all this wire back into place. But first things first. Can you see it? I think you can. Boom. I have voltage gauge. Here, let me flip the little cover up there. There we go. I don't know if you can read it from there, but it's reading 12.0. Or you can put the little dust cover on there and you can still read it. It's a little darker, but you can still read it. And it'll be nice and slick. Nice and sleek, kind of back in there. Not even very noticeable. Pretty slick, eh? And if I ever want to take this panel out, I can unplug it here, or I can unplug it here, or wherever. Just may be the ideal way to do it. Actually, we're going to wrap that one up right there. What we're going to do first is plug this thing back in. Prop it up in place. Make sure all your wires are tucked in back where they should be. Nothing is sitting out in some weird spot waiting to get caught on stuff. There you have it. There you go. There's that one. Remember, you always want to get all your bolts started in before you tighten any of them up. Voltage gauge is installed. Again, turn the bike on. And I'll be able to see that from, I should be able to see that from my riding position. You can see it like that, or just like that. There you have it. That's all I got.